I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle, look, Kyle, I even put your name up on the warrant board. That's how psyched I am to finally have a chance to talk with you. Well, I was talking with Pork Rind Tony. kind of, well, at some point you sort of want your gimmick to refresh, and
he's the absolute worst.
I am the absolute worst. You know what's funny is we started this, and because this is at my house, I always fuck shit up. Last stream, I didn't have John recording. This time, I didn't have our mics unmuted for the stream to start, and I'm sober.
I am not, though, so this should be a fun show.
Well, let's do our regular plugs and shit here real quick before we get going. Guys,
get into it.
Warren and Smark To Death, we all have powerslam.tv promo codes. You can use Mr. Warren Hayes for that as
just
well.
Warren Hayes.
Just Warren Hayes, or you can use Smark
Hayes.
To Death. Get 30 free days at PowerSlam. There's a whole bunch of shit on there. It is very awesome. If you guys are watching the stream on twitch.tv/Smark To Death, please make sure you hit follow, hit subscribe. If you jump in late, we're going to actually give Warren the video for this so he can upload it on his YouTube channel. So we all get a little bit of love there.
Oh, speaking of love, though, we started a new promotion today.
We did start a new promotion today. So if you like Smark To Death, go to prowrestlingtees.com/SmarkToDeath and use promo code Smark To Death to get 20%. That's 20% off of all t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
There's 2 Twinkies. Have some fun. You get a shirt like Mr. Warren Hayes is wearing right now.
That's right.
We got a couple other shirts in there, but, just help rep.
You definitely got a little buzz going, you fuck.
I do. I have more of a buzz tonight than I did last night.
Oh, wow. Wow, you were out for your wife's birthday.
Yeah, I made sure tonight that I did the Royal Tumble, which is just a tumbler full of wine, so that's always for next year, guys.
Warren, I don't know if you saw the tweets. I got to tell you here real quick before we get started.
Oh, don't you fucking get into that.
There was one thing I have to tell.
I swear to fucking God, if that's that one tweet that you're talking about, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
All right, I'll tell you off stream. Anyway, you did have something you want to ask Warren about NXT TakeOver before we get started onto the Rumble. Go ahead and ask him.
Of course. So, Anthony and I did our NXT recaps. We did it today. We were a day late, of course, but Anthony was not a fan of Ricochet versus Gargano.
He knows. I told him.
He is not a fan of Ricochet.
Baba Ruski in the chat here was not either.
And I just want to get Mr. Warren Hayes' opinion about that match because I just want to prove to Anthony how fucking wrong this man is.
Tony has some redeeming qualities and
many flaws, but some redeeming qualities. I like it.
No, but okay, listen. Let's be completely transparent and objective. Johnny Gargano versus Ricochet last evening rocked. It was fantastic. It was a perfect build. It had an extremely exciting final third. And Anthony was trying to put over the fact, Ricochet, he's just a flip. He's the quintessential flippy guy, can't tell stories. I disagree because last night, the story he was telling, he was actually putting over his strength game last night. Mm-hmm, That's the story that he was telling. It was yes, he did the aerial nonsense. And when I say that lovingly, when I say nonsense, but he was countering Johnny Gargano's moves. He was catching him out of midair. And despite the fact that he brought this to the table, Johnny was able to come out on top. Now, what I will say in defense of my boy Tony is that I do feel that wrestling Twitter is perhaps going a little overboard in their adulation for the match. I don't think it's a match of the year. I think it will be fondly remembered. It'll be when we come to the end of the year awards, we'll be like, oh yeah, this was great. But there was this one and this one and this one and this one and this one that were above it. But this was fantastic. And for Anthony to tell me in DMs, oh, this was the third best match of the night. I'm like, what?
I still think so, but that is not why.
So you can compare it to In and Out. Like, it gets overhyped a lot, and so it doesn't ever live up to it. But it's fucking good.
Yeah. Also, JPQ in the chat says Ciampa versus Black was better. I'm not alone, you fucks. Run down the card, Kyle. Let's get going.
Jesus Christ. Late. All right, let's get into the WWE Royal Rumble 2019 from Chase Field, where we had over 46,000 fans, according to WWE. Let's get into that kickoff show. We had Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, I'm assuming, defend their tag titles. I did not watch this match against... What the fuck? Razor and Scott Dawson with Drake Maverick as a fucking manager? What the fuck is this?
We were both waiting for it.
I wasn't like he didn't even read the card beforehand. It's like, all right, let's just pull up the note. So and that was amazing. But no, they weren't defending the titles.
Mm-mm.
The idea
obviously they weren't defending titles. They don't have
the idea
was that by putting one man of the Revival and one man of AOP in a tag team together, if they defeated Rude and Gable, then one of those two teams would get a title shot, either the Revival or AOP.
I think it was. They said both.
I'm taking the earbud out. I'm fucking done already.
Look at this dramatic circle. And I'm his ride home. He'll be right back. Don't you worry, guys, because he ain't driving. Yes, and the match was a match, I think is the best way to say it, right, Warden? I don't have anything to say about this.
Yeah, it was under 7 minutes at 6 minutes and 55 seconds.
Look, let's this is what I have to say. Last night we saw War Raiders and Undisputed Era put on another goddamn motherfucking clinic.
Yeah.
Do I say? Can I say motherfucking on your?
You can
on
say
your
whatever the fuck you want to say.
Clinic that gives us all hope in tag team wrestling again. And then you return back to main roster into the Raw roster or Raw tag team roster, and you realize they don't know what they're doing. There's no planning. We're just tossing shit together, seeing what happens, cobbling whatever we can. There's just no rhyme or reason to it. And just the night before, you have Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong that are tearing the house down with the War Raiders, and this is what we're subjected to once we get to main roster. It's ridiculous. It's just really ridiculous.
Before we move on, as we've spent too much time already, number one, Kristen Ashley asks, were we right? Is Kyle drunk? Yes. Number two, I'm actually going to spin this in a positive way.
What, me being drunk?
No, God.
Oh, okay.
No, the tag match. There's only one positive, and that it is many people want to see Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, when they were singles people, be treated strong and have nice, good matches and look strong.
Okay.
And they win a lot now, and they look strong, like formidable champions that cannot be toppled by the rest of the Raw Tag Division. There is my positive spin.
That's it.
That's all I got, because the match wasn't good. That's it.
But what do you expect? I mean, there's only so much you can do. I mean, Scott Dawson is a magician, but I mean, even at some point, a magician has to recharge his magic wand.
Right, exactly.
I've seen a magician under the mask on Fox.
I was hoping you would just say I've seen a magician and leave it at that.
I've seen a magician before.
What's the next
worst ninth birthday I've ever had? I've had multiple ninth birthdays. That was the worst. Let's move over to the WWE United States Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura, he defeated Rusev. I was totally shocked by that.
I was shocked. The match wasn't particularly good either, I don't think. The main card of Royal Rumble was great, but the pre-show was... all these matches belonged on the pre-show.
That's what you would expect from the pre-show?
Oh?
I disagree.
Oh. Hit us, Warren.
I like this match. I thought it was a solid match. They both worked really well. I think the only thing here is that I found Rusev was checked out. That's the only issue that I had with it. Like when he came out, I said to myself, "Oh, he has loose face," and I felt he was checked out the whole way. And I thought Nakamura was on point, for his WWE style. Don't get me wrong,
okay.
But I mean, I found the match worked. I was shocked as hell that he won. I was not expecting this. So honest to God, what do you do with Rusev after this? I have no idea.
I think Rusev might be on the way out.
I think so.
I think his contract must be. I don't have any like solid base to make this opinion on, but I just think that he might be done soon, and like no interest of re-signing with WWE. Like I think he's one of those guys that's unhappy.
But Warren, do you like Shinsuke's WWE style at all? Because Anthony
cannot stand it. I think he looks lazy and not committed all the time.
Yeah, I think it works better since he's been as a baby face and as a heel, because that's kind of what heels are supposed to do. I mean, it's not great, especially. I mean, even if you're not familiar with his New Japan style, what he was doing in NXT was remarkable as well. Right. It was fantastic. He had nothing but great matches. So yeah, it is a little soft, but I think his character as a heel is very, very endearing. It works well. I'm just really, really surprised that they gave him the title back. Yeah,
I was actually really surprised by that. Now, of course, I did not watch any of the kickoff show at all. So all of this,
nor would you remember it at this point.
It's important to point out that Lana got hurt.
She did. She got hurt.
She took a bump off the ring because she's a wrestler. And because she's a wrestler, she took a bump off the ring, and she got really, really hurt because she's a wrestler.
And we will, of course,
get to that later. And also, there's a theme established here because intergender wrestling's back, baby.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But first, let's talk about this Fatal 4-Way match between Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto against Buddy Murphy, who did retain the WWE Cruiserweight Championship in 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Let me get y'all's opinions.
I thought this was actually a pretty stellar match. It was very good. Even Kalisto didn't look too bad. He looked less botchy than usual, which is new, I think. Buddy Murphy wasn't involved in this match as much as I would have liked, I think. Especially for someone to retain. He was involved in this match as much as like WWE champions that retain in a match are going to be involved when they retain in a Fatal 4-Way. Like, involved, out, in the finish, retain. Right?
I agree. I absolutely agree. But then again, like Buddy Murphy, the way he's set up on 205 Live is, and we talked about this, Anthony, when we did the predictions. Buddy Murphy's the final boss of 205 Live. Right. That's what he does. Right. So his style really, especially in a situation like this, is to like, you guys just pound the shit out of each other, and then I'll come in at some point. What I also really like the character work that they made for Hideo Itami, who is in desperate need of having some solid characterization in 205 Live. They've tried the babyface thing; it didn't work. They tried to give him a heel thing. They're starting to find a direction for it. So the fact that he stalled at first, that he didn't get involved, they let the guys go at it. I think it was fantastic. The final third of this was outstanding. Absolutely. I thought it was amazing. There were so many good things happening. And it just surprises me every time how Akira Tozawa is able to easily connect with the WWE audience. Even though people don't exactly know who he is, he just has that thing, man, where, he does his chants, he shouts a lot, but he's super charismatic. He just connects, and that's always cool.
Yeah, I think I agree with all those points. I thought the match was good. This is the one pre-show match that if it somehow snuck onto the main card, actually, no, the main card to me was so good that it doesn't fit. It actually did. For once, none of the pre-show matches belonged on the main card, and I think that to me, this is what's going to stand out from this Royal Rumble as we get through this card. But I want to make this point now, that this Royal Rumble was actually booked correctly, even with the one match that all of us picked wrong. It was booked correctly, and I'm very impressed by that. But we got to get into the main card so that you can actually talk instead of just hosting Warren and I.
Well, one question before I get into the main card, though. What do you do with Buddy Murphy from here? He's basically beaten everybody else that's in 205 Live.
Yeah.
Where do you go from here with Buddy Murphy?
You got a potential debuting guy from New Japan coming in soon.
That is a potential.
Or not potential. Actually, it's true. He
is coming in. The rumor is that he's going to NXT, but I mean, if he ended up in 205 Live, I mean, that'd be a dream match right there. But that is the question that I have that's been running around the back of my head, because I was expecting Buddy Murphy to retain. Who is going to take it off of him? I don't know. The only person right now that Buddy Murphy hasn't fought yet, and maybe has the prestige of getting a title shot, is Lio Rush. But then again, it's two heels.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
Is that the path you want to go down? I think Hideo Itami and Buddy Murphy having a match together would be a slappity slapper. But again, you're stuck with two heels. You can't go back to the Cedric Alexander well just yet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm actually looking forward to Tuesday to see what they do.
Yeah. Someone, Nerd Dad TPC, mentioned Kushida as well, which is of course who we're referencing, and basically saying put him on 205 and push him in the chat. So I agree with that. I think Kushida would be the best person to bring in because he's got the history, he's got the lineage of being this great junior heavyweight, and they equate in WWE terminology junior heavyweight equals 205 Live to WWE, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that, actually.
Besides one person.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into the Royal Rumble main card. Let's talk about the first match on the card. Asuka did defeat Becky Lynch, which I was not expecting. That's just for me. She beat her in 17 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's hear it.
No. Let's hear it from you. Warren and I have talked plenty already on this.
I thought this was a great match. I thought this was a really good match. I thought Becky versus Asuka, they did a fantastic job.
Yes,
they both played off each other well. Better than I've seen in previous matches, especially like their TLC match. Them one-on-one, I was actually kind of expecting it to be like a not as good. So it definitely exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I actually, it met my expectations. I expected very good things from this match. I got very good things from this match. Even though Becky ultimately tapped and lost.
Yeah, okay, so here was the thing.
I was going to get you off on that, yeah. Ooh, get you off on that. Not the right words.
This...
And I like how Kyle is a little drunk, and he's like, he's waiting for the keywords to react. And he's like, "Oh yeah, she tapped. By the way."
Welcome to Smark To Death. That's what we do. With Becky tapping at first, like my initial reaction was like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Because I picture Becky now to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I never wanted to see Stone Cold tap out. I never want to see the man tap out. But when I saw the submission move that Asuka put her in, I was like, it makes fucking sense that she taps out.
Yeah, it
makes fucking sense that she taps out.
It makes complete sense, and it was beautifully done. That finish was incredible, and it somehow that is the only finish that I think I've ever seen where someone tapped and looked strong. Like later in the match, someone that tapped didn't look strong in that. Becky looks strong in this.
Because if you look at Becky's, her position at Matt, with that tap out, her neck is twisted, her arm is twisted, she's getting choked out at the same time. It was the, what was the Daniel Bryan move called when he did the cow manipulator? I believe that's what it's called. It was half of that, half of a choke. And it was just game's over if that's happening.
And her face was crushed and she was turning purple.
Exactly.
It was an absolutely credible finish. And my takeaway here is, aside from the fact that I'm with Anthony, this met my expectations. This is as good as I thought it was going to be. I really, really like how WWE seems to be getting a little more creative with its conclusions. We saw last night on TakeOver, Cassius Ohno tap out to a series of vicious elbows to the side of the head.
We all like that.
Where you're like, wow, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Now tonight, they had this fantastic sequence of reversals, of finisher reversals, trying to get each other into each other's finishers. Asuka tries to get Becky in the Asuka lock, gets this pretzel on, and you're like, wow, and that's how the match ends, and it feels credible and it feels fresh, and you're like, wow, okay, this was actually really, really good.
Right. And we like to do letter grades on this show, as you know, Warren. And Warren is drinking pop after midnight.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, he's going to be up for a while.
I've got a big what? Sorry.
You're going to be up for a while.
Yeah, I've got a big.
Which reminds me, take this for a little bit. I gotta get my Red Bull.
Are you going to get it right now?
I'm going to get it right now.
All right, well, we've lost Warren. We like to do, or not Warren, this is Kyle. I'm all confused. Too many hosts. We like to do letter grades on this show, Warren, as you know. So give me a letter grade on Asuka versus Becky.
I'd give it a B+.
I'm going to go A-.
Okay.
I was
think it's
really high on this match. I thought the storytelling was really good. Recently, it's a strange thing, as I've been joining like more podcasts, I've become more into storytelling elements in matches. I don't really understand why. But yeah, B+ from Warren, A- for me on Becky Asuka.
I'm going to give it an A. I thought that was the best women's match of the weekend, so I'm going to give it an A.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, on every Smark To Death podcast,
We
we like to crack open something, so there it is.
Ah, there you go. I knew there was something missing.
How is it that you're drunk and you cracked a can appropriately this time? Like, so loud. What's the next match?
Let's get into the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match where Shane O'Mac and Miz and Mac, that bothered me so much.
You hear it in your voice just now.
That Shane O'Mac got his own jersey, but Miz, he had to share the jersey with Shane O'Mac.
No, it makes sense, though. The whole storyline is that there's been Miz kissing Shane's ass to be tag team partners. So, of course, Shane was still all about himself, but, like, Miz is like, come on, bud. I want a belt. It's been a little while. I'm the Miz, and I usually have a belt win, like, every, 30 days or so, and I'm fucking fiending right now. I think it still worked, the jersey thing. I thought it was funny.
Oh, my God. I hated it. But in 13 minutes and 20 seconds, they did defeat the Bar to become new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Warren, what did you think about this match?
Well, from the bits I was able to catch because I was within a family situation during this time. I will say that
we love family squabbles here at Smark To Death. So
this
spill away.
I thought it was well. First of all, the right team won. Like this is the natural progression for the storyline to have Miz and Shane win. You hear a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I couldn't care less about Shane McMahon. Oh, why are they doing this?" But the reaction they got that was astounding, and shows that they're doing something right, and they are doing something right with this story. I'm invested in it. It did make me care about what's happening with Shane McMahon. I find that Miz is super endearing. I find that he's doing his best to be the plan. And again, this is something we've talked about, Anthony and I. Even though Miz is babyface right now, he's not like flat out babyface coming down the aisle and slapping everyone's hands. He's a babyface because he's trying to endear himself to Shane McMahon, who is in a position of power. He's a McMahon, so he's still being very, very Miz, despite it all. Despite the fact that we want to cheer for him, he's still doing the thing. So of course now all I'm excited to think about is who's going to turn on who and when. That's the next logical step.
Now, of course, Anthony said if there's a chance for a McMahon to get a title, that McMahon is going to get a title.
Thank you. And as just to do a little Warren Hayes on the Smart to Death show, I want to say that I was correct. So I went 12-2 on predictions this weekend, so I'm feeling fucking pretty good.
I think I lost every prediction tonight.
Yeah, you didn't do great.
I did not do great. I actually had the Bar winning this match. I expected the Miz to turn heel tonight before an actual title change.
I thought that this match was actually not bad, and that shooting star press.
Yeah, let's talk about
so
the shooting star press, because I did not know what Shane was doing on top rope. I was very confused, and then he nailed a very beautiful shooting star press,
especially for an older guy.
Yeah, he's
not a wrestler.
Let's think about this.
Exactly.
The best way to think about this is Shane is the same age that Vince was when Vince started the feud with Steve Austin. That's the same age that Shane is at now.
In our minds, we can't see Vince McMahon trying to do a shooting star
press.
Yeah,
exactly. So try to envision that. They're at the same age.
Nope, don't want to envision that. That's weird.
Fucking nuts.
Letter grade. Let's go.
I'm going to give it a B+. I was entertained. It wasn't like my match of the night, match of the week or anything, but I was fucking entertained.
I'm going to go B-.
B minus.
Because it wasn't technically great.
It was
but
predictable.
Warren, letter grade, sir.
I honestly, I didn't see enough of it to give it to feel ethical enough in attributing a grade.
You've listened to our show, right? There are no ethics here. We read the dirt.
All right,
sheets.
I'll give it a D.
All right, sounds good. Speaking of D, BlueChew.com, promo code Smark To Death on the next match, sir.
It's the women's match.
You threw him off. He's like, what?
So you did that. That should be. This is gonna be fun. Rondi. You know, Rondi. She's fucking fun. Jesus fucking Christ.
Rondi.
That's her new name now, though. Can we make this happen?
Rondi Rousey.
Do you think we have like enough followers to make this happen? Rondi Rousey. She defeated Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship in 13 minutes and 55 seconds. What did you think about this match between Rondi Rousey and Sasha Banks?
You've never actually fucked up speaking on a recap show before. We've been doing this shit for a whole year, and on the weekly show. Oh, Rondi Rousey, I didn't like this match. I didn't like it at all. Being serious, I thought that
Rondi, that's how we're referring to her.
We'll go with Rondi. I thought that Rondi looked like fucking garbage. I thought she looked terrible in this match. I thought Sasha carried her the whole way. Sasha, however...
You're not a Sasha Banks fan at all.
I'm nowhere near a Sasha fan. I think she's fine. I think she belongs in the spotlight. I think she belonged in this match. And damn it, she looked like a fucking $1 million tonight. She was outstanding. Her character work was great. Her post-match character work was great. The reason I don't like this match, and this was a C match for me, like a C- match for me, because the finish was fucking garbage. Rondi, to use her proper legal name, Rondi did not sell anything. She was in submission moves the majority of this match, and all of a sudden she pops up and seen as this shit. Fuck you. You've been in the WWE for a year. You don't deserve this bullshit. You got knocked out twice before you went to wrestling. Get out of here.
All right, Mr. Warren Hayes, what did you think about Rondi versus Sasha?
I agree. I think no, but it's true. I agree. I personally had a bigger problem with the final third of the match where I thought everything was a little off. Mm-hmm. I do feel that Sasha carried her, and I think it was interesting because I'm a proponent. Like, I'm pro Ronda Rousey as far as her wrestling tenure goes. And I know certain people in the chat right now are already very annoyed about what I'm going to say, but she started wrestling last March. Her first match was in April. Mm-hmm. She picked up so quickly, and she's been improving and adding stuff, and she has chemistry with Nia Jax. She can bring Nia Jax to a good match. God damn it, and up until this point, her only really terrible pay-per-view match was against Nikki Bella, and who can blame her? Here, though, here she was out of her element, and I don't know if she's starting to zone out, if she wants to, since her contract is coming up. But Sasha looked like a star. This is the Sasha Banks that we fell in love with in NXT, yes, that we've been clamoring for ever since she came up on Main. This is what we thought we were going to get last year when she started feuding with Bayley. This is her. This is what we want. We want her to be a bitch. It's Sasha the bitch. That's what she is. That's what we want. And we saw more than shades of it. We saw a whole palette. I like the respect thing. Then she walks away and she's having this internal monologue. She's going, oh, man, no. And she goes back and she's like, yeah, okay, I'll shake your hand again one more time. But by the way,
4 horse.
And it's like the fuck you, Ronda. And I'm like, yes.
I want to point out from the chat real quick to make sure we are reading you, chat. We love you. Chris and Ashley, I see you. We're not going to not mention you because Warren and I don't want to hear it in the DMs. She says that we need to keep our garbage Sasha takes. She never fell out of love with her. But more importantly, Nerd Dad, TPC, pointed out that he thinks that Ronda, there was a mistake with her being launched as unbeatable. And that's where we're falling out of love with her. Kyle, your thoughts, sir?
I actually liked this match. I really did. I thought Now, I will say that Sasha did obviously carry this match. She looked phenomenal. Her fucking arm bars looked magnificent in this match.
They look better than Ronda's.
I really thought Rondi's shoulders were gonna pop out at some point. But the way I like to think with like Sasha carries this match, well, it always takes two to tango. That's the way I like to look at everything. So it does help with Ronda, and Ronda's only been doing it for less than a year. Yep. And so for her to be here to where she was even at WrestleMania last year is fucking phenomenal. I like to think.
But we're talking about someone that came in on a curve, though, right? Like, we're talking about someone that came in that was a world-class athlete before, that's been an Olympian, that's been a UFC champion, that's been unbeatable, that's been so dominant in combat sports that, while I don't think that... I'm not one of the people that thinks that wrestling and combat sports are the same. Obviously, we give our friend Joey so much shit when he thought, I played football before, I could be a wrestler. No, they're different fucking things. You're lifting a human for 30 minutes, or 5 minutes, but it's going to feel like 2 days because on your body. But that's where I think the casual audience is turning on Ronda. Tonight, what turned me on Ronda, and I'm turning on her pretty fast, is that she can't sell. And I think when you don't sell, it's super disrespectful to your opponent. Brock Lesnar sells for his opponents when he's supposed to.
Which wasn't the submission. I found she did a good job. Like it, she when Sasha had her locked into all these holds, like she was, I thought she did a good job. But I also know what you mean. And I think that one of the reasons why we're turning on her is because her character work has been so terrible. And this is not on her. This is on WWE.
Right.
For some bizarre reason, WWE never understood that the reason why people took to Ronda Rousey is because in UFC, she went to the cage, she beat the shit out of someone, and she left. She didn't stand around smiling and slapping hands. She hated everyone she got in the ring with. And that's why she cried when she lost, because she hated the idea of losing.
She sure did.
Because at that point, she was the actual baddest bitch in the planet.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the thing, is that she's the baddest woman on the planet, and she comes out and is like, and I want to challenge you because I respect you. No, you want to challenge Sasha Banks because you want to kick her teeth in. Christ.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
That's what Ronda Rousey is.
I feel like you could do like the Ronda Rousey like legacy so far in the WWE. I think you can do an entire podcast episode on it because it's so unique, this journey. Like because honestly, she's been booked just as strong, just as ridiculously stronger even than Roman Reigns. And people are turning on her much faster. So I gotta give the casual WWE audience this. You know what you don't like, and what you don't like is overpush people. And she's overpushed. And my selling issue isn't... She sold well in the submissions, sure. But look at Aleister Black tonight. What was on his leg? Tape. From where Ciampa fucked up his leg last night. That's selling, baby. That's what I want to see. I want to see... you limp off like Brock Lesnar did after the AJ Styles match from the calf crusher. Like, give me something. Don't stand up all happy and jog over and kiss your hairy ass boyfriend. Fuck all that. Sasha kicked your ass that whole match. Act like it. Damn it.
Yes.
Dog.
There's nothing wrong with hairy ass boyfriends.
Don't look at me this way. Go to the next match.
All right, let's talk about it was the 30-woman Royal Rumble match. Obviously the winner gets the champion of their choosing, and in 1 hour and 12 minutes exactly, Becky Lynch won. So she did not win against Asuka, but she did win the Royal Rumble. So there is a lot that happened during this match. Let's just talk about some of our favorite moments.
Yeah, let's go around the horn here. You start.
Selena Vega's, her doing like the whole underneath the ring stuff, and then of course with Hornswoggle. Yeah, that was just fucking hilarious to me.
There's a lot of things WWE does that's like I don't like when they do this like stupid like shoot in force fed comedy. But in the Royal Rumble, you need this comedy. Like that's what we think of when we think of Royal Rumble is the really funny shit that happens. That was probably one of my favorite moments. But what I loved the most was of course the final third. Not even final third, the final like eighth of the match. The last 6 or 7 minutes with just beautiful, well done storytelling with Charlotte and Becky. And I want to say what I liked the most about the match was Charlotte. Throughout the match, when everybody was in there, she was keeping people from hurting Becky because she wanted Becky. She wanted to deal with Becky. Until Nia was there dealing with her, and it was toward the end, she would not let anybody fuck with Becky except her. And I liked that. Warren, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the Zelina Vega stuff was hilarious. You know, when she did like peek. You know, it's like just look around. You know, that was spectacular. That was comedy done well. What wasn't done quite as well comedy wise was the Maria Kanellis and Alicia Fox bit, where I think I tweeted out. I think Alicia Fox is going to ask for Maria Kanellis's release after bashing her hat in. Yeah, see that was a little, just drawn out a little too long, and I think it wasn't exactly necessary. I was really, really happy with the surprise entrance in here. Rhea Ripley was in there. She got 3 eliminations. Now you tell me that the people in WWE, that the management don't like this girl,
right,
this woman, this lady. Holy shit. She came in and she did some business.
Yeah.
She took care of some business.
She looked great.
Casey Catanzaro doing a better Kofi spot than Naomi did.
I thought so as well with that.
Yeah, the core strength to come up and crunch and climb up.
I thought Ember Moon's come up where she was just hanging off her 2 feet and she's able to use her core to like grab back on. I thought that was amazing as well. Yeah, they both kind of defeated Naomi in that round.
Naomi kind of looked like trash in this match, to be honest. I didn't think she looked good at all.
No, but she was there very, very shortly, and she did eliminate Mandy Rose. And here's something that I think needs to be mentioned. Mandy Rose ended up eliminating Naomi from the outside, which means that this feud is ongoing.
Yeah, it's continuing. Yes.
Now, if this event hadn't happened, I'd probably be like, oh man, we don't need this anymore. But look at the reaction Mandy Rose got.
Yeah.
And
I love Mandy Rose.
Again, it's something that I like to say. Let your women wrestlers be women wrestlers and feud for wrestling reasons.
Right.
And look what happens.
Right.
God damn it, you get the reaction you want. You don't have to set up the shit in a hotel room. You just have them do these things. You get the heat. Now I want to see Mandy Rose and Naomi go at it again.
We talked about Ember Moon and Alexa Bliss. Like Alexa eliminated Ember Moon, but we were just like watching this like that's a feud that I want to watch.
Well, and look, and the way Alexa got the heat on it is Ember's a crowd favorite. She kicked her out and then she did her crying face thing. Alexa is a master of getting heat on herself without objectifying herself. Like I truly think that Alexa is one of the best female heels in the business because of that. You want to hate her because she's arrogant, she's a bitch. And she can just make you, like, she will hurt you. She will beat your fan favorites, and she'll make you hate her guts for it. Like, hate her beyond the Alexa Bliss character.
Yeah.
We don't need Mandy Rose, like, yo, I'm going to try to fuck your man, girl. How you feel about that? Like,
I like Sassy Anthony.
It makes me angry. Kyle doesn't like it. He and Kira deal with it every day. Every day. It's just Sassy Anthony.
What was your favorite surprise entrant? Was it Rhea Ripley? Was it Zia Lai? Was it Io Shirai? Or Io Shirai?
You'll get there. Candice LeRae was my favorite surprise because I was not expecting her to, like, I'm a Candice LeRae guy, was not expecting her to be in the match because
either of us were.
No, because they haven't done anything with her in NXT.
We heard her theme song. I have no idea who this is.
But what was really cool is that when Zelina Vega hit the ring, they had a moment because they had this mini feud because of the Gargano Almas thing. So they had a little moment just to call back on that, and they gave me a couple of shivers, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And the other thing I really liked was Kairi Sane coming out. Huge reaction.
Yo, massive.
Everyone the casual people know who she is, and they love her. And there's you have all the reasons in the world to love Kairi Sane. Christ, she ran down the ring with her telescope on her eye the whole way. She's adorable. She's wonderful. She's a psychopath. Let's bring her up to Maine because and put her on Raw because they need that kind of superstar on Maine right now.
That's the thing that I want to talk about with the Rumble too. And you brought this point up already. What WWE is at this weird crossroads where they know how to book petty bitch wrestling, which is the Mandy Rose Naomi thing. But they don't have petty bitch wrestlers anymore. They have wrestlers like Kairi Sane, like you said, she's adorable. Not only is she adorable and over because pirates are fucking cool. They just are. Like, and she ran down with the thing, but she's a good wrestler.
I like that she stood toe to toe with Charlotte tonight, and they traded chops.
And that's the thing. Like, look at all these badass, just great women's wrestlers: Becky, Charlotte, Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane. Nia Jax is trash. Mandy Rose is a good wrestler and deserves better. Carmella, when she came in at 30, looked outstanding to me.
Yep.
She looked great. Oh,
and even Lacey Evans, who I wasn't.
Yes.
Lacey Evans. Yeah, let's talk about Lacey Evans because she came in at number 1.
And she looked great.
She surpassed everything that I had involved with her.
You went a little Dusty Road there.
It's surprise.
What did you think about the final part of the storytelling there with Charlotte and Becky and the chronicle that none of us want to end?
It is outstanding, you know, and it was absolutely fantastic. Like you pointed out, and I'm glad you noticed that too. That you know, Charlotte was like, "No, Nia, Becky's mine," you know, kind of things. Like, get the fuck off. And it's not like I'm trying to protect her. It's just she's mine. When Becky hurt her leg and Charlotte was laughing her ass off in the ring, you're like, oh God, we all hated Charlotte at that point.
Does anybody love being a heel more than Charlotte?
And she's a Flair. Flair's a heels.
God, she's so good at it. She's another one. I just want her and Alexa just to bully people.
At that point, you didn't care who won. You're like, I'm just ready for this reaction because either I'm going to get a loud-ass cheer, I'm going to get the loudest boo.
Yeah, I jacked the TV volume because I told Kyle, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm turning it up because I don't give a fuck what the reaction is. This is going to be, and it's going to be the awesome, right? There was no wrong booking. Great end of the Royal Rumble, but only a B+ Rumble for me because a lot of it was not great.
Okay.
Despite the fact that we all talked very highly of it, I'm going to bring it down a little bit to B+.
I'll give it an A-.
Okay.
A- for me. Warren?
Yeah, I agree. I'll give it an A-. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I think right now in WWE we're living an Irish conspiracy because you know, Becky Lynch, when she came to the ring, she asked Fit Finlay to be in the match, and Finlay said yes. You know, you get Finn Balor in main events. What the fuck is going on?
Some nationalism going on here.
Oh my God! I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the longest match besides the 2 Rumble matches. Of course, is the WWE Championship match between Daniel Bryan defeating AJ Styles in 24 minutes and 35 seconds.
Boring as fuck.
I did not know that went on for 24 minutes.
I didn't pay attention. I was very exhausted from the Rumble. This match was...
We knew what this was.
I didn't like this match. There's nothing about this match inside of the match.
I would say we probably need to go back and rewatch this match. That's the best thing I could say. We probably need to go rewatch it.
It's a very reasonable thing to say, and I will not do that because that is not my gimmick on this show.
I know you won't.
Yeah, it's not my gimmick as a wrestling fan. There's nothing about this match I cared about. It was very boring. It sucked me out of the event. The ending, we'll get to. Warren, thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not talk about the ending just yet. I'll let you guys lead into it. It's your show. It's your show. I'll leave you the candy bars, and I'll take.
You give us the nougat.
I'll take the hard caramel.
I love hard caramel.
I bet you do. Powered by Blue Chew.
I thought that this is one of these baffling WWE matches that. The work was good. Like, you know, the work was good. It's not just fine. They worked hard. But there's something that just didn't connect with me, with the audience. The audience was dead on its hands for this. But yet, nonetheless, I mean, you know, this was particularly brutal. You know, they laid into each other. Right. It was, but was it fun to watch? I don't know, but I feel like if you're a maybe just like a purist who likes to look at, you know, the holes and how things are applied and how really the psychology is moving around, sure. But I mean, there was a void there. There was really something missing to the match.
You know, JPQ said the match didn't match the build. Kristen Ashley said it was another match she didn't care for. Nerdad.
Yeah, but that's because she doesn't get paid to watch the men's matches. That's why she doesn't.
Oh no! Oh, shots fired! Pew 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 pew. Even though Nerd TBC said, even though he said it didn't feel like AJ wanted the match, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it was weird. It just didn't.
I feel like I think it's just a lot of the hype we're coming off of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, who we did want to see win the Royal Rumble, and we got what we wanted, so we're super happy. And then we're going to get this super technical match out of AJ and Daniel.
It's weird for like a hate feud.
I'm gonna say we're going to have to go rewatch the match. I'm not going to get a letter grade yet.
Oh, I'll give it a B-. I
think that's being generous right now. So, okay.
Damn.
Right now, yeah. I didn't give a shit about the match.
Well, the big part was the finish, though. So let's jump into that real quick.
Yeah. What did you call it? What is
well, I gotta give JPQ called them the Snap Pea something or other
Society.
Snap Pea Society. So Eric Rowan showed up. We still don't know why. He was wearing flannel. That could be why.
Flannel and white Converses.
We do know that Daniel Bryan is
wrapped up in one person with a beard.
Yeah, I'm going to call them Homemade Compost Incorporated is actually what I think I'll go with. But anyway, Eric Rowan showed up. There was a ref spot. Eric Rowan gave AJ
a skull slam. A skull slam. That's what they call it.
Skull slam.
Not a choke slam. A skull slam.
And then afterward...
And he's repping some new tats.
He did. Yeah, those tats are dope. But afterward, we see Daniel Bryan gets the pin. He retains, predictably, not by that outcome. That was weird. And then gives the flying knee. That's a capo for my guitar. Put it down. Gives him the flying knee, and they stand tall together.
I'm a child.
I don't understand why Eric Rowan is there. Is it a callback to the Wyatt family thing? That's all I can think of.
It could be. Or it's just like... You have two guys that have been out for a very long time, and instead of doing Bludgeon Brothers, let's do this.
Let's do the Vegan Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, I think the main story here is that Eric Rowan has a first name again. That's
that is a big thing. Yeah, he's going by Eric Rowan, not just Rowan.
Exactly. Second of all, if you're going to bring these guys back into this context, just why Eric Rowan and not Luke Harper? Luke Harper has so much upside. He is the most when we talk about underappreciated and underrated, Luke Harper is underrated.
He's probably their most talented big man they have too, but they sure as hell don't know how to book him.
No.
Yeah, Harper's great.
But I kind of dig the idea of, Daniel Bryan, vegan cult leader.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that could be interesting to come out of this because he is positioning himself as a guru. So why not have followers? Maybe it won't be a Wyatt family thing, with all the spooky masks and the fireflies and so on and so forth. But I mean, that's what he is right now. That's the character of the new Daniel Bryan. Why not have some followers?
Yeah, like when I first saw this, I immediately said straight edge society,
but with vegans.
Yeah, but with vegans,
and flannel.
Yes.
Let me just tell you that if there's a
does that not always go together? Vegans and flannel.
It's like hipsters. Hipsters plus vegan plus flannel equals like Beards. Austin, Texas, or something, or like Portland, or I don't know. I know that Kristen Ashley said in here that she thinks that Rowan has joined Bryan's commune. I kind of dig the idea, though. I think I'm with, if there's a stable that's, Daniel Bryan with all these followers, I hope they're all recovering from injury, and that they adopted veganism, and they're like, holy fuck, I recovered in 2 days instead of 16 months.
And the commune would be the best name for that stable because it's such a hippie, extreme leftist socialist term.
It's over.
Sit your bitch ass back down. We got 2 more matches.
It's such a good name.
Kyle is in rare form. He's knocking shit around. My wife's gonna divorce me in the morning. We're so loud right now. So
we're gonna get that studio apartment finally.
We finally are. The commune's a great name. Absolutely, I agree with you.
Fantastic name, actually.
Jesus Christ. Let's move on to the next match.
It's the Universal Championship match, which we were both kind of surprised that it kind of. I was kind of surprised that it actually came right here. Even though it is the Royal Rumble, usually the Royal Rumble is the last match. I was almost getting like a 1998 feel. Like this was going to be the last match. I thought we were going to get Demon Finn. We did not. Brock Lesnar did defeat Finn Balor in 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
That match was that long?
It was 8 minutes and 40 seconds. And I enjoyed every bit of it.
I can't... If I say that I didn't enjoy the match, I'd be a fucking liar. Because it was fun. I was involved in it. And you said this, and it's a very good point. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this, Warren. The reason why WWE keeps Brock Lesnar around is because you, Warren, we were all invested in this match because we wanted Brock to lose so bad to our favorite. This man needs to stay in WWE till he dies. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, Brock Lesnar, and he did a great job in this match. He sold his ass off for Finn.
He broke his dick for Finn.
He didn't win on an F5.
Power by Blue Chew.
He did get 2 dick shots by a table point, and God, I bet that fucking hurt really bad.
Yeah, Michael Cole, Maggle just kept saying in the midsection, it's like, no, that's your penis, bro.
The only thing I didn't like about this match is that he kicked out on the 2 de gras in really less than 2. I don't like that. Yeah. That's the only issue I have with this match. I don't mind that he won by Finn not being able to get out because he's smaller and he couldn't wiggle around to get out of the tap out, out of the submission. I'm okay with that. Losing by submission when you're a small guy getting tapped out by a larger MMA trainer, I think keeps Finn strong to an extent. Because he looks like he could beat Brock in a future match.
Finn didn't get hit with an F5.
Did not lose by an F5. He did
He did not even go to Suplex City, really. He had, 3 suplexes? That's it?
No.
Compared to, what Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles had gone through. He went through maybe 3. I'm pretty sure it was just 3.
Yeah, JPQ in the chat says that Brock equals a draw, and I don't agree with that because their ratings are terrible right now, and they have trouble selling out arenas. So Brock is not a draw, but he is interesting. Warren, thoughts?
What I really liked about this match was that the story that was told was extremely different from any Brock match that we saw recently. Especially, he's fought the smaller guys recently, the Daniel Bryan, AJ, and so on and so forth. But here, Finn was ready, prepared, and had his game plan down. That, like you said, it took Brock out of his game because he didn't go to Suplex City. He couldn't. He didn't win by F5 because he tried, but Finn reversed out of it.
Right.
And I lost my shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And Brock even went down to his ground game. He got him in a Kimura at some point. Right. It's like Brock had to pull some shit out because he got punched into, he got a table in the dick a couple of times. He ate 3 Tope Conhilos in a row.
Right. Yes. We thought that was really weird as well.
And he sold his ass off for him.
And the moment that I knew Brock was enjoying himself was when he had the Kimura on and he was cranking back on it and his face just lit up. You know how his eyes are always slanty, just little slits, and boom, they just bolted out. You saw all the whites in his eyes and he was like, ugh. Then it was like, okay, Brock is having the time of his life right now.
I will agree with that because immediately after the match was over, Brock went into his corner, Finn was in his corner, and you saw Brock for just a split second, and he had a goddamn smile on his face.
Yeah, and then the fact, you pointed this out too, that, Brock hasn't gone back and beat down anybody that could have had a chance to beat him. Finn literally lost on a mistake.
Yeah.
This,
not even a mistake, it's just a moment. Just one moment. I wouldn't even say mistake. It was just a moment.
He lost on a moment. He couldn't get out of a lock. He lost to a superior wrestler in this day, even though he dominated the match. Finn dominated Brock in this match. For the
Brock
most part.
has beaten Roman Reigns. He's beaten Samoa Joe. He's beaten Daniel Bryan. He's beaten AJ Styles. Never have I seen Brock go back and just start suplexing that same person.
Yeah.
Just because it just felt like I needed to beat that guy, and I need to show him that I should have beaten him even more.
I like that take.
Yeah, absolutely. And the question that I'm left with here at this point is that I can't help but maintain that I really do feel that this didn't do any good for Finn, even though he had a great match, even though he looked good against Brock, because AJ did too, and Daniel did too, but they were in, they're in their championship. They were in their world championship forms. Finn for the past 2 weeks was sold as the underdog. You will not be able to do this. This is a fairy tale. You will not be able to do it. You don't belong amongst the large men. Well, ultimately he came up short. He wasn't able to overcome. And I'm wondering what's going to be next, and I'm wondering if this is going to hurt him, but the post-match beatdown leads me to believe that there might be a chapter 2 to this. And if there's a chapter 2 to Brock and Balor, well, then Finn will ultimately win, because Brock's story has been like, I fight you, I beat you, next.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I think you're
was
both right. Yeah, I think you're both right.
I was telling Anthony, it's like, I want to see, I think Finn can beat this guy. Like, I want to see another match. You were telling me, like, no, this is probably it. And of course, we see the Royal Rumble. We'll talk about that in a split second. But I was like, I want to see this match again. Like, I think if we get a chapter 2, Finn's going to beat Brock. Like, that's just what's going to happen.
See, and I think that's interesting, too, that Warren pointed, this says that this didn't do any good for Finn. But I disagree, big time disagree, because of that, what you just said. And me, too. If you tell me that the main event of WrestleMania was Brock, Beast versus Demon, and this time he's getting the Demon.
Yeah, because we did not get a Demon tonight.
Which is good, because they kept the Demon strong. But if, that, like, I do want to see this again. I don't want to see AJ versus Brock again. Fuck off with that. I don't want to see Daniel Bryan versus Brock again. It's fine.
Both fantastic matches, but you don't want to see it again.
I sure as hell don't want to see Brock versus Braun ever again. No. I never want to see Brock versus Roman again. I'm interested in Seth versus Brock, sure. Finn versus Brock is more appealing to me now, because I saw this small guy have a great showing against. I thought he looked really good, and I thought he proved that he belonged by making Brock have to go to the Kimura. I don't remember the last time he used the Kimura except against Taker, to be honest.
Last time I remember him defeating anybody with the Kimura might have been Triple H, and that might have been at Mania's like it had to be like 5 Manias ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm gonna give this match an easy A for me. It was
at
fun.
8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it did exactly.
You're into it, so yeah.
Yeah, Brock matches when he cares, get you every time.
Yeah.
Letter grades, boys.
I'll give it an A-. Yeah, for sure.
Agreed, an A-. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I was telling you. This when Brock cares and Brock puts on a match, there's no way that you cannot put him in your top 10 because he makes you feel things that other wrestlers cannot make you feel.
We're starting to get a lot of good Brock matches, and I'm a big fan of that. If we could just get this Brock all the time, you could leave that belt on him forever, and I'll never complain. If you get that, give me that Brock, it's fine. I don't care that he won tonight. He looked great. It was fine.
All right.
And it's interesting. It's like sometimes they don't even know how to book him either. We're talking about Ronda, but a couple of weeks ago on Raw, he was sauntering around the ring, with Braun Strowman in the middle, just being a dick and just what. That's not Brock. No. Brock just like walk around. You'll do something. It's weird. Like there's this dichotomy sometimes between what the wrestler is capable of doing in the ring and what we expect from him and what the writers come up with. It's a really strange situation, especially in his case.
We're officially in the late night in the Central here in midnight. Let's get on to that Royal Rumble.
Final match of the night. Let's talk about the main event, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. Of course, just like the women's match, the winner gets to choose their title that they want to, and Seth Rollins did win this Rumble in 57 minutes and 21 seconds. So it was a shorter Rumble than the women's. Mm-hmm. Let's go, fellas. Give me your thoughts.
I will say that this Rumble, as opposed to some other other Rumbles, I think this actually had some more memorable moments, I think.
Okay.
The Jeff Jarrett Elias thing at the beginning was just fun. It was just fun. Of course, Nia being the surprise entrant at the end.
Let's talk about that, because over the weekend we kept hearing like, you're going to get a huge surprise at the Rumble. And we were like, are we getting The Rock? Is Roman coming out? Did Omega fucking sign?
God. Oh,
I don't think anybody fucking expected Nia Jax to show up.
I was very nervous. It was Kenny, and I was really ready to cry. I was gonna kick you out. We weren't gonna,
I was gonna laugh so hard.
We weren't gonna do this show.
So
I have
excited.
a Golden Lover shirt on. There's a Kenny pop behind me. He's everywhere in this house. I would have been so sad. Don't go to WWE, please.
But did anybody expect Nia Jax to show up?
No.
I had no idea.
We've talked about intergender wrestling on here before. We're both big fans of it. Warren, I've never talked to you about it. Give me your thoughts on Nia. Let's start there.
Men and women should never be in the same ring at the same time, motherfucker. There's no reason that a man can't take a woman can't take a man. What are you talking about?
Oh, this is a Texan impression you're doing.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
I don't know. I felt like it.
It was Alabama.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I thought it was just American.
Oh, he got us all. Oh God. Oh, I'm glad this is going on audio recap on Podbean.
No, I mean, I just told you before, I'm a big Candice LeRae guy. How could I not enjoy Candice LeRae if I'm not into intergender wrestling? Jesus Christ, I'll say the words. No, but this is what happened tonight, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had intergender wrestling in a WWE ring. Now, the only thing I didn't like is that I think Michael Cole wanted to say that Nia Jax was the first woman to enter the Royal Rumble, which is a complete and utter lie.
She would have been the fourth.
But I mean, Nia took out guys.
Yeah.
She eliminated. Who did she eliminate?
Mustafa Ali, that bitch.
Yes, that's something we'll never forgive her for. But even the guys played with it. You know, the moment where they built to the RKO,
Yeah.
and Randy Orton was into it. And Randy Orton, we're aware of his politics.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that he was sure, I'll do this, and he was milking it. He understood what was going on.
Oh, no.
That's you. You were like, you said, of course Randy's gonna do it, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And so you were just like, and then Randy laid off, and then boom, we got the super kick from Dolph, and then we got the
619, and then the RKO.
Yeah.
Man, this was fun, man. I've never enjoyed Nia.
Well, I still don't, but
I enjoyed her here because it was new, it was unique, it was fresh like those McMahons promised us.
that's true. Then and it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of days, how, because I haven't been on Twitter. Obviously, we jumped right into the show, but I'll be interested to see what kind of interesting takes appear on wrestling Twitter now that WWE has let a woman beat up on some guys and vice versa.
Yeah.
We know one person that does a podcast here in Waco that's not...
I don't think that thing's a podcast anymore.
Well, we know one guy here in our town that is a big not fan of intergender wrestling because he thinks it is not realistic and that women could never beat up a man. I'm here to tell you, I'm very weak. A lot of women could beat me up.
Kristen Ashley could beat me up.
Yeah, for sure. Nia could definitely beat my ass.
So let me ask you, what was your favorite surprise of the night? Was it Jeff Jarrett? Was it Kurt Angle? Was it Pete Dunne? Was it Johnny Gargano?
Johnny Gargano!
Look at the hat.
Holy shit!
You knew it was Gargano, didn't you?
I'd still have shivers thinking about it, and he eliminated dudes.
Yeah.
It's not just
He looked strong.
He looked really good. I was so happy. I was happy for all my NXT boys tonight.
Yeah.
Even Alistair looked like $1,000,000.
Alistair eliminated Dean Ambrose. Thank God.
I was so shocked by that. I was shocked that Alistair Black eliminated Dean Ambrose.
I'm glad he did because, God, I don't want to see any more Dean Ambrose in this state.
And this, like in Texas, or just...
You take it how you want to, man. You take it how you want to.
I liked how Mustafa Ali eliminated Shinsuke Nakamura as well.
Yeah.
Joe was, I expected it because it was part of the story, but man, the way they sold it, the expressions, Joe being completely overcome, like, oh, you son of a bitch. And Ali looked like he won the freaking Stanley Cup. I'm going to use Stanley Cup because I'm Canadian and it has to do with hockey. So, it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. But as far as surprises go, man, holy hell, Johnny Gargano being there and looking strong. Yeah, I'm still hot and bothered.
I'm gonna agree with that. Mustafa Ali eliminating Joe, because I just went back and rewatched the 2002 Royal Rumble where Maven eliminates the Undertaker, and it seemed like they both had the same type of expression where like Undertaker was like just fucking pissed and shocked at the same time. Joe just like points at Ali like, you just done fucked up.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited to get into that.
You're a big Mustafa Ali guy, so I assume that in your mind, the only person in the ring was
I had
Mustafa
him
Ali.
winning this Royal Rumble.
You did. You were wrong, as you were in all of your predictions.
I was.
You didn't do a great job, but
No, I didn't.
yeah,
But you can imagine if I did.
Yeah, I my favorite surprise was probably Gargano, because I truly didn't expect him. Aleister Black I loved, but I expected him. I expected Pete Dunne. I expected,
and I think we all expected Velveteen Dream, and that's a first surprise.
I want to ask you about that. I want to ask you, who was the one person that you were shocked did not show up?
Velveteen Dream.
Was it Velveteen?
Yeah, that's the only one I was certain of. It was shocking that no Undisputed Era showed up, but not incredibly shocking.
Yeah,
not all that shocking. Me, the thing that compounds the non-surprise of Velveteen Dream is they had him come in. He was doing the access tournament there, the Worlds Collide thing, and I was like, there's no reason they can't be flying him in just for that.
Yeah,
but
you were certain Thursday.
I mean, that place would have erupted, and I could see him walking up from the dugout, which was a really cool setup. By the way,
I really love the setup of Royal Rumble. I love the minimalist of the Royal Rumble. Like, you don't have to have this grand stage. Just have a small stage. You can put it inside the stadium and it'll look phenomenal.
I thought the dugout thing was awesome. We talked about that all like, I liked how it really like amplified how cool the place they were at. Like, the wrestlers looked smaller than the arena, and to me that's awesome. And that's what WWE is trying to do for years and years, is like, they want their stars to be smaller than their company and smaller than their promotion. And you do shit like this, they don't have Titantrons and stuff, they don't look like that big of a deal.
But you can see, like, with the stadium, you had... I thought tonight's presentation was just phenomenal.
Yeah, the camera work was great. The AR stuff actually worked for once. Kristen,
you're not a fan of that.
I'm not. Kristen actually said in the chat that Pete Dunne, it was amazing tonight, and she is tough to please with when it comes to male wrestlers. So this tells you how fucking good Pete Dunne is.
Yeah,
my God.
He was though.
Great on the Rumble.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the men's Royal Rumble. It was an A, easy A.
Yeah,
easy
honestly, I'm gonna go A+. I had a fucking fantastic time in that Rumble. I thought it was a great Royal Rumble.
An A for me, and it had just enough Braun Strowman to keep me happy.
Yeah, it was enough Braun Strowman, like just a little taste. And him being the last person eliminated in the way that he was by Seth, I thought was fantastic.
And it works with his character. It makes perfect sense.
I'm just upset we didn't get go-karts this year. That's the only thing I'm upset about.
Oh, God, they did have a long way to go. JPQ in the Discord tonight said that he mentioned how Kurt Angle was old man running down, and that he actually has a gold medal in speed walking.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was enjoyable.
All right, so
let's go around and do our letter grades for the final.
Yeah, final grade for the entire show.
A for me. I enjoyed it more than Takeover by a landslide.
I will agree. I will say this: Takeover probably had some better matches. They had 3 great matches on that show. To me, I was way more entertained though during this tonight.
I'm going to give it an A, mostly on the strengths of the Rumbles themselves, because that's the attraction.
Right.
That's what you tune in for. You want to watch the unpredictability. You want to see what your favorites do. You want to see the dream matchups, the teases. Man, there were a lot of teases tonight in the men's Rumble. So on that strength alone, and there were some fun, entertaining matches throughout as well. But I mean, just you watch the Rumbles because you watch the Royal Rumble because of the Rumbles. I'm gonna give it an A.
All right.
Yeah, I think it was great. Warren, before we sign out of here, let our listeners and our viewers here, the ones that are left, it is very late, so thank you. First, I want to say that all of you that joined on twitch.tv/Smark To Death, thank you so much. I hope you followed. You can use Amazon Prime, subscribe for free. If you have Amazon Prime, you get to do that once a month. Come back every month and do it. And we get $2.50 from each one, which is awesome. It helps us a lot. I want to plug also, we're at prowrestlingtees.com/smarttodeath. You get a 20% off sale on all of our Smart to Death shirts from today until Saturday. So please go
And they're
pick up a
comfortable
shirt.
shirts.
Yeah.
I'm wearing one right now. They're comfortable shirts, people. The kind of shirts you want to sleep in as well.
Yeah, Mr. Warren Hayes got a 2XL so he can wear it as a muumuu.
You were so convinced of that when you said it. I love it so much. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for that. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Warren, tell our listeners and our viewers, what do you do? And you can even plug Fightful. I'll let you.
Oh, boy. Okay, so we're here for another 15 minutes then. I do Raw SmackDown recaps over on my own YouTube channel, which is at youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. I stream after every Raw and SmackDown, about a half hour after. So I do that live. There's a bunch of people who join in. Anthony's there sometimes, even JPQ, Kristen. There's a whole bunch of folks. So feel free to come drop by. If not, well, you can watch the replays. You can also follow with the audio stream, the audio in podcast form on your favorite podcast application. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google, Podbean, so on and so forth. I also do a 205 Live NXT UK recap over on FightfulSelect.com, which is Fightful's premium service, Fightful pro combat sports news website. So you get pro wrestling, MMA, boxing, all of that good stuff. There's a premium service for extra content, extra podcasts. Starts at $5 a month. So if you want to check that out, it's you're more than welcome. And there's myself. There's Sean Ross Sapp. Yes, to change his name, man, to something much more manageable.
Just say SRS.
SRS. We do a whole bunch of stuff over on Fightful Select. So yeah, go check it out. FightfulSelect.com, Fightful.com. Whew. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, it's a long plug. I don't know if you've been at the beginning of Warren stuff, but
of course, we did our NXT Takeover Phoenix recap
that's
today.
Out public right now.
It's out public. You did your Ring of Honor vlog.
I did on Smart to Death Premium.
Yes,
our own premium thing. Very similar to the model of Fightful Select, because it's a great idea. That's why we copied it. So I give them all of the credit. I tell them. I put it in public. But yeah, Smart to Death Premium. You go to patreon.com/Smart to Death. Support us. It's one of the best ways to do it. And the best part of it is we get to shout out those patrons.
Yeah, let's shout them out.
Brandon McKinney, Natalie Evans, Papa Suter, Robert Jackson, Shane Richardson, Dan White, 720 Wrestling, Mr. Warren Hayes. Who's here today. Kevin Cito, Two Girls on a Bench.
Wait, Kevin Cito, that human thumb?
Yeah, that big fucking Goodyear blimp. I bet he's at the Super Bowl next week just flying around the stadium. Kelly Parker, Cameron Curry, Richard Sandoval, JPQ from no particular angle. I'm going to say that every time because he calls me out because I forget.
Well, because you also call him GPQ today.
I did call him GPQ. Well, yeah, that's true. It's Courtney Summer, who I had the pleasure of meeting last night at ROH San Antonio, and that was nice. Carl Hayes and Ryan DeRosa. You can follow us.
I want to plug one last thing.
Go for it.
I forgot one last thing because it's really cool. I'm a part of a new podcast that started on Fightful.com, not the premium service, on the typical regular service, the free for all service. Kristen Ashley has a women's wrestling podcast called The Division, and I've been a panelist on it for the past couple of weeks. We released a new episode on Saturday. We have Laura Morrow, who works over at Diva Dirt, writes for Daily DDT. And we discuss news, current events, all stuff that has to do with women's wrestling. That's on Fightful.com in their podcast section. The Division, check that out.
Yeah, and I actually listened to that the other day at the gym, and it is a lot of fun. It's good stuff, and I will not beg to be a part of that, but I will continue to complain until I'm invited. So, but I will not ask.
You will have to beg.
I know.
You know how she is.
Yeah, she's still here. Guys, you can follow us everywhere at Smart to Death. We're Twitter, Facebook, everything.
Yep.
And that is it. I think we're actually done. I am going to put a song at the end of this podcast on audio from Phantom Ant. He asked us if we would play it. Kyle said it's good. I haven't listened. I believe him. Fuck it. We'll play it for you, buddy. It's the outro song.
Yeah. Of course, make sure you listen to us anywhere that you listen to the podcast. Mm-hmm. That way, we'll be number one in your ears, number one in your hearts. That way, will be number 1 in charts.
Yeah, fuck you, Elias. We're number 1 in hearts.
Take our gimmick infringement tonight.
You
Fuck.
You sound like King Ross from fucking what are they called now?
Cultaholic.
Yeah. Whatever.
Gimmick infringement. I don't know.
Kyle, sign us out.
All right, guys. For the love of God, I'm at Anthony's and he's still not wearing pants. He's thighs out, skies out. So I need to go home. For Anthony, thank you to Mr. Warren Hayes for jumping on this recap for us. Appreciate it a lot. Make sure you go do everything that motherfucker just said. Until Wednesday, we'll see you.